If you have played or watched sports, you would know size, strength, and power do matter. Of course, skill is a bigger factor than those, but you can compensate for a skill gap when you have the athletic performance edge. Take me for example. Here's me denying a takedown against a wrestler in an MMA spar. I had no wrestling experience, but I had the size and strength advantage, which led to me compensating for that skill gap. I had built an advantage over the work I'd done in the gym. And if you're watching this video, I'm sure you want that advantage as well. So I'm gonna give you the best exercises for athletes for each muscle group. I previously made a version of this video, but for aesthetics. And the exercise selection will be different because I'm not actually gonna categorize the best exercises for each muscle group, but rather for each movement. The main difference between how bodybuilders train and athletes train is bodybuilders are focused on muscles, while athletes, they're focused on movements. So although the title of this video will say the best exercises for each muscle group for athletes, the reality is it's going to be the best exercises for each movement. And there are 8 foundational human movements athletes must excel at to perform at the highest level. A vertical pull, a horizontal pull, vertical push, horizontal push, squat, hinge, lunge, and a carry. With the first being vertical pull, and this one is pretty easy, the best vertical pull movement is a pull-up. Regarding a vertical pull, there aren't that many options for it, with the 2 most known being a pull-up and a lat pull-down. With the lat pull-down having minimal core involvement, while the pull-up having maximal core involvement. Many people actually don't know this, but the most involved muscle in a pull-up isn't actually the lats, but the core. And if you know anything about athletes and athletic performance, you would know the core is the most important muscle. I put air quotes in muscle because the core isn't one muscle. It is a bunch of little muscles that allow you to perform at your best. Think about an athlete jumping. What's better, jumping off of sand or jumping off of concrete? If your core is weak, you're jumping off of sand. If you have a strong core, you're jumping off concrete. As an athlete, being able to develop great core strength and pulling strength whilst controlling your own body is so vital, which is why you'll see any athlete in any sport doing pull-ups. But what's also vital is being well groomed. And I realize it's easy to be well groomed when you put in some type of effort and when you use Manscaped products, who are the sponsors of today's video. We like you just the way you are, but let's be real, there's always a little room for improvement, and especially in the grooming department. After all those New Year's festivities, you might not like exactly what's looking back at you in the mirror. That's where Manscaped comes in with their Beard and Balls bundle. Say goodbye to the winter beard and scruff with the Beard Hedger and leave behind the hibernation mode of the extra hair down there with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Let's kick things off at the start of the show, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, a powerhouse pack with features designed to give you the ultimate grooming experience. It features 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads for a fresh start, the skin-safe trimmer blade for precision, and the skin-safe foil blade for that close, clean cut. The trimmer blade features longer, wider, and rounded teeth that cut through hair with ease. Tough on hair, yet incredibly gentle on the skin. Say goodbye to those endless passes. It's all about getting it right the first time. And here's where things get interesting, the foil blade. Crafted to transcend the boundaries of your typical trim achieved with the trimmer blade, this foil blade is designed to leave you with a finish that's irresistibly sleek and utterly bare. It glides gently over your skin, capturing even the finest hairs for a flawless look that's ready to impress. And the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is waterproof, which makes it easy for trimming in the shower. But wait, there's more. With 3 different comb options, including a fixed length comb and 2 adjustable combs, you have the complete control over your preferred hair length. Oh, and did I mention it's wireless? And it has up to 60 minutes of charge too. Plus, it's equipped with a dual LED spotlight so you can shine a light on those hard-to-reach trouble spots. And it's ready for action wherever you go in 2025, as its travel lock keeps your trimmer secure and your resolutions intact. Now let's talk about the Beard Hedger, the perfect companion for sculpting and styling your facial hair. Featuring a titanium-coated stainless steel T-blade, this trimmer means business. Whether you're aiming for clean and neat or sticking with some scruff, the Beard Hedger comes in with a built-in zoom wheel offering 20 lengths for a smooth start to the year. Whether you're cleaning up after a chilly New Year's Day polar plunge or just refreshing in the shower, the Beard Hedger is waterproof and has you covered. And with up to 60 minutes of runtime on a single charge, you have plenty of time to get ready each day with confidence. Manscaped also has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try these products risk-free. So join the over 11 million men worldwide who trust in Manscaped for their grooming needs and start off the new year right. Bundle and save with the Beard and Balls bundle and treat yourself or somebody else who needs it. Get 20% off plus free international shipping with my promo code CoachMario at Manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free international shipping with promo code CoachMario at Manscaped.com. And again, thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring today's video. For vertical push, it's also very easy, a military or overhead press. I'm going to make this point now for this exercise, but it also will apply to all the exercises which I mentioned later in the video. Barbell or dumbbell, it doesn't matter, as athletes should be prioritizing both in their training routines. Like the vertical pull, there aren't very many options here. It's just the overhead or military press, but what type of overhead press you do does matter. Do not do an overhead press seated or on a machine, as these take out the core stability in the exercise, worsening the transferability to actual sports. And when I say core strength, that also means the shoulder core, aka the rotator cuffs. If you don't want Paul George shoulders, do not use a machine to shoulder press, because when you shoulder press using a barbell or dumbbells, you are stabilizing the weight, aka you're strengthening your shoulder core. I'm probably the first person to call it a shoulder core, but what I'm referring to is the rotator cuff muscles. I dare you to try a dumbbell or barbell overhead press for 6 reps or less next time you go to the gym. Just try it. You're gonna notice that your core is working so hard just to keep your body upright. That's what you want from this exercise. If you're in a soft, lazy bodybuilder, you're not gonna cry and complain about this, but rather you're gonna embrace it. And you will actually enjoy how hard you're working to stabilize yourself like I do. I'm at a point where I'm repping out 60 pounds in each arm for a dumbbell overhead press for multiple sets. And I see fitness influencers bragging online when they do the same weight seated. Like, be quiet, I'm better than you. Now for the best horizontal pull movement, I think this will actually be very controversial and you'll be surprised by it. Well, this is given if you watch a lot of my videos and you're a huge fan of my channel and athletic bodybuilding. I'm actually not going to pick a barbell row or a one-arm dumbbell row, which, keep in mind, are fantastic exercises. But rather, I'm going to pick a chest supported row as the best horizontal pull movement. I would actually argue that the first 2 horizontal pulling movements I mentioned are actually better exercises. But the reason I'm picking a chest supported row is because I'm looking at an athlete's training routine as a whole. And for a given athlete workout, the core goes through a lot. With heavy core demanded exercises like overhead press, pull-ups, deadlifts, squats, the core of an athlete needs a much needed break. And that's where the chest support for the row comes in. Instead of testing an athlete's core endurance ability, let's really focus on pulling. I see the best strength and conditioning coaches in the world who only program free weight athletic movements standing up for their athletes, except almost universally they had the athlete doing a chest supported row, which says a lot, and that's why I'm picking a chest supported row as the best horizontal pulling movement. For a horizontal push, it comes down to 3 exercises: incline bench press, dip, and a flat bench press. And I believe that the flat bench press is the best horizontal pushing movement for athletes. You might be thinking it should be dips because a lot of people think calisthenics are superior. It's a weird fetish that a lot of people have online. But unfortunately, because you're pressing downwards, it won't be as transferable to sports like a flat bench press would. And just like a point I mentioned in horizontal pulling, we have so much core work already involved that the core work on the dip is kind of unnecessary. Like, think about it. When in a game are you pressing down versus in a bench press where the pressing angle is much more realistic to sports? The incline bench press is kind of between a horizontal push and a vertical push, but would be defined as a horizontal push. But because of the realistic bench press angle, I chose flat bench press as the best horizontal pushing movement. And before moving on to leg movements, if you want all this programmed in for you, plus plyometrics, cardio workouts, literally everything to become an elite athlete, be sure to check out my 120-day peak athleticism package. Check out the presentation I'll leave in the description so you can work with me to become the best athlete you can possibly be. Now for our first leg movement, the best hinge movement is going to be the deadlift. Regarding hinge movements, I must mention the hip thrust, which technically isn't a hinge because it's a thrust, but when programming, it'd be defined as a hinge movement, as it trains the posterior chain of the legs in a compound fashion. You should utilize both barbell and trap bar deadlifts, but I would make a claim that the trap bar deadlift is the best hinge movement for athletes. The trap bar deadlift does an amazing job strengthening the legs, hips, and posterior chain of the legs, which are essential to explosive movements. And with the trap bar, you're able to explode much faster than you would with the barbell deadlift, which is why it transfers better to sports. And another benefit of the trap bar is you can do it with a B stance, so you can train the movement unilaterally, fixing any imbalances, and obviously a lot of athletic movements are unilateral. Now the next leg movement is obvious, it's a squat, which makes it easy to define because the barbell squat is going to be the best version of a squat. If you thought it was going to be a hack squat or some kind of sissy squat, you're an idiot. This one will be pretty quick. Obviously squats are awesome and the barbell squat is superior, everybody knows that. But as an athlete, you can utilize different different versions of a squat to get the adaptation you want. If you're trying to build overall strength and prevent injury, a full depth squat is better. However, if you're trying to use the squat to develop your vertical jump or your sprint speed, half squats and even quarter squats would actually be better. So you can utilize different depths of squats to get the adaptation you want. Now on to the last leg movement, which is the lunge. And for me, the best lunge movement for athletes is your normal stationary lunge. It can be with dumbbells or barbells. I was very close to putting Bulgarian split squats as the best lunge movement because it helps develop balance, coordination, and stability because you're on one leg and you have to balance yourself. However, lunges are pretty similar. And actually a very rare case here, I'd argue the less balanced core and stability required in the lunge is actually better, as it has a better, I'm not saying more, but better level of instability that replicates sport stability demands better. Lunges, when done correctly, also have a stance that you would be in for a lot of moments in sports. I'm not saying that Bulgarian split squats are not good. I would rotate between the two. However, if I had to pick one, it would be lunges. Keep in mind, you want a 45-degree angle whenever you're doing any type of lunge or Bulgarian split squat, as this replicates the torso angle you're going to be in when you're performing in sports. I already know some bodybuilding coach is going to say, you should be at 90 degrees because it's more quad dominated. Unless you run like a cartoon character, go to 45 degrees, not 90. And now for the last movement, which is a carry, it's going to be a normal farmer carry. It's pretty simple with carries. You just want to walk between 20 to 60 seconds of a challenging weight, and you're going to get tons of athletic benefits from it. This includes improving trunk stiffness and bracing, which improves your ability to move high loads, and also improves your movement efficiency, improves your core strength, improves your joint angle specific strength, improves your postural strength and endurance, and improves full body conditioning. I can go into depth on carries, and I will. Actually, I have, as I went over it in my forearm video, which you should check out right here. But if you're also interested in the best exercises for each muscle, but the aesthetics version, I'll put that right here.